Hi guys, welcome back. So the purpose of this little video is to show you how to push deer. So I'm just doing a little bit of a random build, but what you'll probably do is push deer like so, just kind of just running up behind it and then making sure we can get the angles right. As you can see, it kind of went a little bit skew with there, so it can be quite difficult to do. Especially as when we're trying to produce villages as well and do other things. So certainly a lot of the things might be that you're too busy pushing deer that we forget to start queuing up villagers. Now I've just done that purposely, just as demonstration. We might suddenly think, oh rubbish, oh, I've got to go back now and just queue a villager up. Now, one of the things with that is you kind of got to think, well, when you get to a certain level, you get used to how long it takes for a villager to come out. Now, it can help if you can sort of count to about 15 seconds and then head back to your town centre. So then you should be able to queue up some villagers. So if I start counting when this next villager comes out, I'm going to leave that deer actually just to demonstrate this point. So when this villager comes out, we'll go 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Select the stand center, add another villager. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15. Add another villager. So you can do it that way. That helps you to still push the deer and maintain villager production as you go in. But a little tip about actually pushing the deer, because sometimes you'll get your clicks wrong. It'll go off in all these little directions. It won't go straight. The deer gets a little bit aggravated and just runs around all over the place like that. Now, there are ways you can do it, or there is a way you can do it in a way that will stop it from just running around all over the place. Now, and that's using the follow hotkey. So you can press the follow hotkey and select the deer. Now, as you can see, nothing's happening. And this is a very common mistake that I see a lot of people do when they say, oh, so-and-so's just said to use a follow hotkey. If I do that, nothing happens. That's because you've got to do it continuously, in exactly the same way as you would when you were pushing deer before. But we're just going to press the follow hotkey, and then every time it moves forward, press the follow hotkey again and click on it, follow hotkey again and click on it, and you can see we're actually pushing the deer in a very, very straight line now, which makes it much easier when we are pushing the deer towards our town centre. So you've got to keep going back and pressing the hotkey and then clicking on the deer. It's not about just doing it once. So I suppose the hard bit is then just making little adjustments, maybe as we need to, but as you can see, we can get it back to the town centre quite a little bit easier. Now you've just got to kind of incorporate all of that together, along with counting your villagers and pushing the deer. Like this example I'm going to show you now. Okay, so one thing I didn't mention was to have your scout on a control group. So I've got mine set to control group 2, so I can just quickly go and flick over to it where I need to. Now another thing is that you should consider when you're deer pushing is when to do it. So you don't really want to be doing it when you're luring a boar in, because it can really get a little bit too much to handle all at once. So lure the boar in, keep your scouting, just scout around a little bit, and then I'm going to make these 2 houses. That's what I need in the build. And then once that boar's in, we can start looking at pushing deer. So we're going to start pushing the deer in now. and we can see we're using the follow hotkey as we do it. We'll just get that made down there. So hotkeys are key to when we're doing this. So if we're thinking of villager timings as well, we can just drop off a little bit of food, and there we go, keeping the villager production going, and we're doing what we need to do, and we're pushing the deer in. Again, just thinking about the timings there of when to push your deer or when to drop off some food. Certainly when we're dealing with the boar, as we are in this instance, and then we can probably just take a couple off of there. So we've gone for 5 on food there. We're at a point now where we're going to be taking that next boar in a minute, so we don't want to worry too much about pushing any more deer for the time being. I'm only going to push perhaps one more deer. I might do all of them, just for the purposes of the demonstration. But once you're at a stage where you've got your berry villagers, you've got everybody on what we're doing with the deer, it should be all pretty good to go in terms of getting the next deer. But we'll wait for this boar to come out, and then we'll start adding some more onto deer, or pushing that next deer in. Don't know what that villager was doing. And that's an awful mining camp placement. There we go, let's do that. Okay, so we'll just shift Q those to go onto the boar, just so they're all set up. And now we've got the boar in, we can start pushing our deer again, and we can see we're going in pretty much a straight line. We're just using that follow hotkey to push, follow hotkey to push. We've got villagers queued up because we're at that back end of Dark Age where we can normally add a few villagers together. And there we go, we've guided that one in nicely. We can go and get the other one if we want to be extra greedy. We've had 3 already, why not go for the 4th, since we're on runestones, and we can get that in. I've not really followed a particular build order necessarily here. I've just kind of blagged it a little bit. You can just make these slight little adjustments just so that you can get the direction right that you need to do. So I'm just going to go slightly a bit more sort of horizontally with it now. I've gone a bit too far into the horizontal, and there we go. So you may have seen that I selected the town centre and just quickly pressed my Z button because I could say I had 500 food in the bank. That just got a few village queued up, and that's it. That's all you need to do, really. All you need to do, obviously it's going to take a bit of practice, but that would be how you can effectively push deer. As I say, it takes a little bit of practice, but once you get the hang of it and you get to used to using that follow hotkey, which for me is E, and you can see your cursor changes to a little boot, and then you can just click on the deer and it will follow. But you've got to do that every time you're pushing the deer. But hopefully you found this useful. Do check out the video on the screen for my amazing Step Lancer build, which took me from 1300 elo to 1600 elo, so quite a good one.